Welcome back. He went from local football standout to one of the world's strongest men. Now, instead of playing on Sundays, he's doing his life's work on Sundays.
After all the heavy lifting, Big Joe is now Pastor Joe. Our Brandy Higa caught up with Joe Onosai. He's our Hawaii MVP this week.
When I surrendered my life to the Lord, a lot of the questions that I had in my life were answered.
Father, when there's hopelessness, Lord God, I thank you that you're bringing hope.
Sometimes it takes hitting rock bottom and hurting the ones you love to realize what you've become. Maybe it's not what you planned, but when who you are is not who you like, you make changes. Joe Onosai changed his ways and surrendered his life, he says, to Destiny Christian Church.
We're going to start on time. Amen.
When I was in college, I was going through a lot of things growing up, and I was maturing, and I didn't know how to handle the notoriety as athletes.
A lot of times when we think of the world, we think of our own world.
You think you're the man, you think you're the popular, and I began to forget my family, and especially, my wife, who was my girlfriend back then, Ann. She was pregnant with our oldest child, and I didn't want to be a father. I just was loving the nightlife.
We just say, Lord God, to the storms of our lives, and we just say, peace be still.
Just very self-centered at the time, and she was about to walk out of my life, and there's so many things in my life that just felt so empty, and I finally was invited to church, and when the preacher talked, it seemed like he was just talking straight at me.
It's good to have a coach because a coach stretches you, challenges you beyond your comfort zone. A lot of times
It's Pastor Joe today. Back in the day, it was Big Joe. Prep Bowl champ with Pac-5 in 1982, Offensive Player of the Year as a fullback. At UH, he was an all-wax center, drafted by the Dallas Cowboys. But a neck injury in training camp ended the football phase of his life. Then came this. "6'4", 375 pounds, rocking 22-inch biceps and a 65-inch chest. Onosai packed power and some noticeable swag.
Years ago, when I was competing in the World Strongman circuit, there was an individual in Waikiki that was tailing me so close in traffic, and he was in a rush, obviously, and what happened was, he pulled alongside of me at a traffic stop, and he started calling me names, and he said, "Yo mama," and I said, "Okay, that's it." So I got out, and at that time, we used to flip cars in the World Strongman circuit, so I grabbed this car, and I picked it up, and I said, "What you said, what you said?" And of course, the guy was scared, and I dropped the car.
It's the massive Joe Onosai.
It's funny because my last name is Onosai, and in Samoan that means patience. And I think my wife, who's been with me for 35 years since high school, she said, he's still working on it,
That was then. This is now. So it's not what he planned, but he likes who he is now. He's turned his playbook in for scripture and gone from a practice what you preach program to making preaching his practice, with his wife Ann still by his side.
There's a lot of stories and memories that I would prefer not to remember because it was either painful or just a bad experience. To be able to dream again and to pursue other goals. This kid from KPT, that had this journey could do some pretty awesome things, so can you.
From rock bottom to a rock in our community, Joe Onosai, our Hawaii MVP this week. Brandy Higa, KITV4 Sports.
And they're an inspirational couple.
Yeah, and what an incredible journey for him, and just to see the transformation over the years, amazing.
Nice guy. Joe Onosai wants to share more of his journey when his autobiography is released at the end of this year. It will include his bout with depression, as he calls it, after that injury ended his football career.